Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I pray to the man like ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill. I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't playing no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? I'm back. Deb, how you going? Out to lunch, how you going? Alex, how you going? Who else have we got in here? Sherry, how you going? Kai, how you going? Good to see ya. Lucette, how you going? Black Hat Music, how you going? Good to see ya. Who else have we got in here? J1, how you going? D-Lee, how you going? Good to see you guys. Okay, let's get into it. Okay. Yep, I'm feeling better. I know what the problem is. It's muscular, so I'm trying to sit straight. I normally hunch over. That's the problem. Okay, let's get in the news. Polly Bard said, if the e-safety office doesn't immediately demand all social media platforms to suspend this woman for inciting violence, they have no valid reason to draw a cent of taxpayer funding. As for you, Albo, you need to disavow or you agree. That's the rules your mob insists on. Oz Integrity said there are serious concerns to be had in relation to the known associates of Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Last night, influencer, in quotation marks, Abby Chatfield appeared to incite the assassination of Donald Trump. Okay, let's have a look.
Good morning, Americans. It's time to fucking protest. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's 11 p.m. in Australia. Okay, I'm about to go to sleep. And I'm checking my TikTok. where's the protest? Stand the fuck up. Do you understand that last night, the oligarch that was in charge of your government, he actually admitted to rigging the election.
What? You weirdo.
In a way. Obviously not explicitly, but he did say that without his help, the outcome would have been different. So maybe we should stand up. Like, Australians, imagine if Dutton won the election. Actually, imagine if Pauline Hanson won the election.
I would have cheered.
Imagine if there was a tweet from Gina Reinhardt saying, without me, they wouldn't have won.
So what, you weirdo?
I would be driving to Canberra, ready to fucking riot. I would be land of the free. You guys have no democracy left. Look, I hope it's not true. It's not guaranteed to be true. I understand that. But it's time to at least inquire.
Do you need to go to the bathroom, love?
At least ask someone and go, was the election rigged?
It's all in the eyes.
Like, I feel like there have been a few signs pointing to some suspicious dictatorship, oligarch activity regardless of this. But I thought I'd see some protests, some riots, some chaos, some good old American freedom fighting. And we're just making some TikToks. Get up! Get up! Get up! Aren't you meant to be like the toughest nation on earth? But instead, you're going, have you guys seen this tweet? Have you guys seen this Jimmy Fallon reaction to this tweet? I kind of wanted to see what Jon Stewart has to say. What the fuck are you saying? I love you. This is why I'm saying this is tough love. Get the fuck up. Get up. Stand up and do something about this. Okay? 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 Because otherwise...
Weirdo? Far out.
You're more fucked than you were going to be already. So, yeah. Holy fuck. Wow.
Oh dear God, she needs help. She badly needs help. She didn't appear to me to incite the assassination of President Trump, but she was calling for riots. Oh my God. She should not be influencing anyone. This woman needs mental help as quick as possible. Oh my God. How you going, Del? Good to see ya. Matthew Kamanzuli said, I honestly think we should put on a class action lawsuit and sue the government over the age ban. Adults having to use ID to use communication tools is utterly unacceptable. If Google sees a case, there must be a case. Listen to this. Google threatens to sue the Australian government if YouTube is added to social media age ban. Go Google. Believe it or not, for the first time ever, I'm behind Google. Google is threatening to sue the Australian government if YouTube is included in the social media ban for children aged 16 and below. Go Google! Who would have thought I'd be cheering for Google? Oh my God, but I am. I hope they sue the shit out of them. And hey J1, did I already say hello? Anyway. Alex James said, should the voting age be raised from 18 to 25? I believe so. Not developed. Former soldier wants to raise the voting age. I agree. Because these young people who just come straight out of uni, have no life experience, go and vote. They think life is like school and uni until they get into the real world. You know, when you leave school and people say, you know, when you're at high school and that, if you're getting bullied, it won't be like this forever. Life is not like school kind of thing. You know, that's what I used to hear, okay? And you get out into the real world and go, holy crap, it's nothing like school. This is the real world. This is not school, okay? So I agree. Give them 7 years from school to, well, I don't know, they'd probably still be going to university, some of them at that time, but should have more real-world experience. I agree with it. Raise the voting age. They want to lower it to 16 here. Yeah, exactly, Lucette. They want to do the same thing here in Australia, but I reckon they should raise it instead. Kobe Thatcher said, Sydney, Australia today, I see a lot of visas that should be cancelled. Where's an Aussie ice when you need them? We do. And who are all the weirdos marching with them? Like, there are just some real virtue signals in there, I can tell. Okay. Heaps of them, actually. What do we do with those ones? I don't know. Deport the ones that should be deported. Don't come to our country and try and change the laws. I know our government is very complicit in that with you, but, you know, like, no. And this one, Rupert Lowe MP, back in the UK. A job advertised by the DWP for a Sharia law administrator. I formally questioned the DWP and what the hell they're playing at. We live in Britain. We do not have or want Sharia law. This is grim. The closing date is the 23rd of August, 2025. They get £23,500 per year. It's a permanent job at Manchester Community Centre. Jeez. I think UK, Canada and Australia are racing to the bottom. They really are. And I don't think anyone's ahead. I think we're all at the same speed, heading towards the bottom. Matthew Kamanzuli said voted least likely to succeed in life. This is Anthony Albanese when he was a young boy. Sadly, now the unassailed PM presiding over the final days of a once great nation. Yes, Australia is falling. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to last here. It's ridiculous. Just getting worse and worse and worse. Alex James said we lost one of the only good senators we had. Now we have e-girls and man-children in office. We have to take our country back. Senator Gerard Rennick was voted out, allegedly. Okay, I say allegedly because I think there was some funny business. That's just my personal opinion. There is no fact in that. There is no proof. Okay, now it looks like Trump met von der Leyen. Carly Bones said, watch her head turn when President Trump says that Europeans aren't giving Gaza any money for food. Let's have a look.
What did you say?
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Well, you know, we gave $60 million 2 weeks ago, and nobody even acknowledged it for food. And it's terrible. You know, you really at least want to have somebody say thank you. No other country gave anything. We gave $60 million 2 weeks ago for food for Gaza. And nobody acknowledged it. Nobody talks about it. And it makes you feel a little bad when you do that and, you know, you have other countries not giving anything. None of the European countries, by the way, gave. I mean, nobody gave but us. And nobody said, gee, thank you very much. And it would be nice to have at least a thank you. And I took a lot of heat. You know, when I do that, a lot of people aren't happy about that because they say, well, why are we doing it and nobody else? But I think we had a humanitarian reason for doing it. What's going to happen? I don't know.
Ah, very interesting. So they weren't paying any money, but America's paying it all. He's got an agenda. Is there something like he's there to expose? He's exposing this. Okay, that's why it's he's doing it. Hey, Jules, how you going? George, how you going? Good to see you guys. Okay, Callie said, stand up for the children. 60 children recovered, some pregnant. Read that again. 60 children recovered, some pregnant, in a sting operation called Dragon Eye in Tampa area. Okay, this is what Trump's doing. Okay, let's have a listen to this guy. I'll have to turn the volume down a little bit. And Dennis Beers, how you going? Didn't see you there. Okay, let's see how loud this is.
You guys are worried about the 34 missing children? What about the 60 that they just found in Tampa, Florida last week? Let's talk about them. Let's talk about the 60 children, some of them which were pregnant, that had horrific things happening to them. 8 people have been arrested in a sting called Dragon's Eye, and there's nothing about it because the 34 children supposedly is a hoax. But yet they found 60 children and nobody, silence. I've seen it on the news, a little blurb of it. Fucking sick world we live in, man. I don't understand it. How can we not be all over this? How can there not be a million posts about this? How can there not be outrage about this? How come Florida is not taken to the street looking for their kids? 60 kids, some pregnant, horrific conditions. 8 people arrested in a sting called Dragon's Eye. Look it up. Do your homework. It's disgusting.
I'll take your word for it, mate. I just the fact that some of those children are pregnant, I'll take your word for it that it's disgusting. Okay, Pauline Hanson, interesting post. Went out on my deck to enjoy a coffee before packing for Canberra, found one of the locals waiting for me. It's not poisonous and does a good job keeping the vermin down. But I spend enough time dealing with snakes in Parliament, so I politely declined their company and enjoyed my coffee back inside. I've had a few run-ins with these fellas over the years. Sometimes it's a bit of a shock to come across them, especially when they're wrapped around the door handle. Imagine that. How do I get in? Not sure. There it is, working its way around the veranda by the look of it. Okay, in the garden. And on the table. I like a table. Rustic. Very rustic. Okay. Yeah, there are snakes in Australia, lots of them. I've got to put that snake video back up, by the way. MJ Truth Ultra said, oh my God, we are so close to eliminating income taxes in the IRS. Howard Lutnick just announced we're bringing in $700 billion in tax revenue annually already. Remember several months ago, the magic number tariff income needs to reach in order to cut income tax to zero for those making $150K or less is $750 billion. So they're only 50 off, okay? We're almost there. Howard Lutnick said anywhere approaching $750 billion, we have the line of sight to cut income tax to zero for anyone making $150K or less. Remember this, a strategy president could be waiting for is to wait right before the midterms to announce this. The midterms are going red. As I previously projected, I believe this would happen in late 2026, taking effect early 2027. Lutnick, we're bringing $7 billion in now. Trump wants no tax on those who make $150K or less. $750 billion magic number. Lutnick, eliminate income taxes for those who make $150K or less. Yep, there you go. It's coming, guys. Okay, Il Donaldo Trumpo said none of them stand a chance.
You and I both figured this is really the biggest trading partnership in the world, so we should give it a shot, right?
Yeah. Very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do too. Any questions, please?
We've got a system of Friday, but the chances of a deal at 50%, maybe less. It seems like you're in quite a good mood. How would you rate those chances now?
I'm actually not in a good mood, but I will tell you.
It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
I think the chances are, yeah. I think Ursula would say probably 50-50 of making a deal. I hope, I'd like to make a deal. You and I both figured this is really.
Yes, so he's working on the European Union at the moment. John BB said, how the F do you bring 2 million migrants in and we've still got a skills shortage? Labor's just gaslighting us now. And that could go for UK or Australia, actually. But Australia's going downhill because we've got, well, I'll let you know. Bro said people don't realise just how effed we are economically. Labor's obsession with net zero is literally destroying our country. Consecutive governments have done nothing to address bracket creep, which is wiping out the middle class and, God help, the low class. And mass immigration is causing so much suffering for millions of Australians. They are not bringing in skilled migrants. They're bringing in migrants with lots of family members who all sit on benefits with their 5 children and their multiple wives. They're making a lot of money off the Australian government. Retards Down Under said Australia will be banning social media for people under the age of 16 because it's dangerous for them. Puberty blockers are legal if the parents consent, even though these are far more dangerous than social media, allegedly. This is what happens when retards run the country. And we have them fully in charge. The biggest one is the leader of the country. I don't know, it's debatable which one is the biggest one, but I believe the biggest ones, okay, are running our country. Autist the 17th said, for all those who still don't know, the board released the list on the same day Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. For anyone going, we've got the list. Shh, we had it for ages, okay? We've had it for years, since 2020. Where was the fake news then? Where were all the influencers then? Just saying, here you have it. Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested on 2nd of July 2020, okay? 2nd of July 2020. The list. Adam Perry Lang, Akon, Alan Dershowitz, Alberto, who is it, Pinto? Alec Baldwin, Alyssa Rogers, Anderson Cooper, Andrea Mitrovic. Can't read it. That needs to be bigger, guys. Andre Pastrina, Colombian president, Anthony Kiedis, Audrey, I can't read it, Barack Obama, Ben Affleck, Beyonce, Bill Clinton, Bill Hammond, Bill Murray, Brian Affleck, Karen Casey, Casey Wasserman, Charlie Sheen, Chelsea Handler, Chris Tucker, Chris Wagner, Chrissy Teigen, Cindy Lopez, Claire Hazel, Courtney Love, Dan Schneider, David Koch, sorry, I was going to say David Koch, David Yapovsky, I don't know, Demi Moore, I can't read it properly, Doug Band, Ed Tuttle, Ud Barak, Ellen Spencer, Emmy Taylor, Fleur Perry Lang, Freya Wissing, Gary Roxburgh, Ghislaine Maxwell, Glenn Dubin, Greg, can't read it, something Holbert, Gwen Stefani, Gwendolyn Beck, Hank McCullough, I can't read that, Heather Mann, Henry Rotzkoff, oh, who knows. And yeah, James Franco, James Gunn, Jean-Luc Brunel, Jean Michelle Gathy, Jeffrey Epstein, of course. Jeffrey Jones, why is Jeffrey Epstein in there twice? Jim Carrey, Jimmy Kimmel, Joe Pagino, John Cusack, John Legend, Juan Pablo Molyneux, Juliette Bryant, Justin Rowland, Kathy Griffin, Katy Perry, Katie Spam, I can't read it, sorry guys, Kevin Spacey, Kirsty Rogers, Larry Summers, Larry Visocki, Laura Wasserman, Lawrence Krauss, Linda Pinto, Lisa Summers, Lynn Foster de Rothschild, Madonna, Mandy Ellison, Mark Collins Rector, Mark Epstein, Mark Lloyd, Marshall Mathers, 3, which is Eminem, Melinda Luntz, Meryl Streep, Michelle Wolf, Naomi Campbell, Natalie Biachon, I don't know how to say that, Blatchen, maybe, Nicole Junkman, Oliver Sacks, Oprah Winfrey, Paul Haller, Paul Mellon, Paula Epstein, Peter Marino, Pharrell Williams, Quentin Tarantino, Ralph Ellison, Ray Barzana, Ricardo Legoretta, Robert Downey Jr., Rodney, Slater, maybe? Ron Burke, Sandy Berger, Sarah Kellen, Seth Green, Sean Carter, Shelley Harrison, Shelley Lewis, Sophie Biddle, Stephanie Jim, that's Lady Gaga, Stephen Collins, Stephen Colbert, Steven Spielberg, Steven Tyler, Svetlana Nazova. Who's that? I can't write. Tila Davis? I can't read it. Tiffany Granza, Tom Hanks, Tom Pritzker, Tyler Graham, Victor Salva, Virginia Roberts, currently, while he was arrested. Virginia Roberts, Virginia Giuffre, it's the same person. Currently, while he was arrested. Interesting, isn't it? No wonder I didn't trust Virginia Roberts. Wanda Sykes, Will Farrell, Will Smith and Woody Allen. Okay, we got that now? Right. That was released in 2020, so anyone saying, we've got the newly released list, no you don't. Chris Mates said Australia wants to kneecap YouTube. Fine, Google makes just $300 million profit per year in Australia. A rounding error for them. They should pull the plug entirely. No Google, no YouTube, nothing. Let's see how long the tantrum lasts. And Google threatens to sue the under-16 YouTube's ban. I hope they do. Queen Bee said, look what he posted, watch till the very end. I can't play this on here. What I can do is I'm going to bookmark it to the folder of medical that I can play on Rumble, but I'll just play the, hang on.
But simple. If you and I have the courage to tell our elected officials that we want our national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right, we'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Okay, got to turn the music off now. It's really not good without the music. Oh my God. Hang on, was that Donald Trump or his son? It looks so much like him. Oh my God, when he was young. Split an image nearly. Anyway, I'm going to play this one on Rumble. I wish I could tell yous. JFK files are currently being released. Yeah, it's no good without the, you got to lose to know how to win. Interesting concept. I know how it feels to be a loser. Don't you worry about that. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Out of the Deal, Crippled America, How to Make America Great Again. Okay, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results. No, the only fear I have is the money my country is making me spend. New Year's Eve. Okay, look, it's not going to be good without the music behind it, because it makes it just the whole thing, you know. Anyway, Gunther Eagleman said, I'm sick and tired of this ghetto shit. I don't want to live around it. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to be exposed to it. Good, hard-working Americans don't deserve this. Law and order has to make a comeback. Eric Matheny said, and people wonder why brick-and-mortar businesses are going bankrupt. Nobody wants to leave their homes anymore, because people are being attacked all over the place by the ghetto mob. And yes, not all black people are ghetto, we know that. Some very respectable black people out there. It's just the ones that, you know, do that make people look bad. Freemason said, sickness, what else do the Dems have other than TDS disease? The Skiff said, Ghislaine Maxwell drops 100+ names linked to Jeffrey Epstein to Trump's DOJ as they met with Maxwell for the second day in a row. Which names did... No, they were asked about 100 people and she answered them all the questions. I don't know. Which names did Maxwell drop, and are there any type of deals happening behind closed doors in exchange for this info to lock up high-level individuals? Trump was also asked questions today about Epstein and Maxwell and told the public and the media they should focus on people like Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times, the former president of Harvard and the hedge fund guys. Then you have other people like Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks, who would allegedly find girls from model auditions for Epstein and Steve Harvey, Chris Tucker, Hillary Clinton, Diddy and the hundreds of others who were involved, including the intelligence connections like the CIA, the Mossad and MI6. Diddy's not over yet. Mark my words. He's involved in something else. He's going to be done. The court case he's just had may be over, but there's going to be another one. Yeah, including intelligence connections like the CIA, the Mossad and MI6. Maxwell was not just Jeffrey's sidekick. She was in charge of locating and grooming the women and children to become sex slave for the elite. Maybe even a handler, that some say, especially with the father being an actual super spy for the Mossad. Maxwell also took part in a lot of the abuse herself. Through the many interviews and testimony, victims claimed she was very controlling and enjoyed the power and took much pleasure abusing the victims as she satisfied her cruel sexual desires and fantasies. One thing is definite, it's time for the whole truth to come out and hold every single one of these people accountable. The victims and the children deserve justice, and we won't stop until they get it. Okay.
Ghislaine answered every single question asked of her over the last day and a half. She answered those questions honestly, truthfully, to the best of her ability. She never invoked a privilege. She never refused to answer a question. So we're very proud of her. We're proud of how the process has worked over the past day and a half. We don't know how it's going to play out. We just know that this was the first opportunity she's ever been given to answer questions about what happened. And so the truth will come out about what happened with Mr. Epstein, and she's the person who's answering those questions. I think Ghislaine did a wonderful job. She literally answered every question. She didn't say, you know what, don't ask me that. I'm not going to talk about this person. She was asked maybe about 100 different people. She answered questions about everybody.
Do you know she wasn't questioned before?
And she didn't hold anything back.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to say is that Todd is a great attorney, but you ought to be speaking about Larry Summers. You ought to be speaking about some of his friends that are hedge fund guys. They're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Do you maintain you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. Todd Blanche is a great gentleman. He's a great man. He's a great lawyer. He's got a great heart. But he's over there now. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I certainly can't talk about partners.
Can you trust what she's telling him? She's a convicted trafficker who's eager to get out of prison.
Well, you know, he's a professional lawyer. I think he's been through things like this before. But, you know, you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much.
Oh, interesting. Yes, apparently Ghislaine was never interviewed by the DOJ or anything. Okay, questioned at all. Okay, so now she's being questioned. They just took her to court. They didn't get anything from her. They didn't want it back then. Mandela said, breaking, Democrats are planning a shutdown of America on August the 9th, where they will not be working or shopping to show how important they are to the economy. I don't think America's going to be bothered, really. I don't think it's going to make a dent. Clandestine said the Dems MSM are playing a clever word game. Elon did the same. They keep saying Trump's name is listed in the Epstein files. We already knew this via Giuffre's deposition in 2016. when she explicitly states Trump was never involved in any such heinous activity. But the Dems are insinuating that just because Trump's name is being used in questioning pertaining to Epstein, this means Trump's guilty of a heinous criminality, which they know to be false. He was on the flight log from Florida to New York or New Jersey or somewhere like that. I can't remember. I checked the flight logs and I looked up where he went to, and it was not the island. Trump's name has always been listed in the Epstein files. This is nothing new whatsoever. This has been publicly available knowledge for years, but the Dems and MSM are using this terminology to convince the public that this means Trump is on the list of clients who engaged in unspeakable acts against children. There are a plethora of individuals who are listed in files related to Epstein who are not guilty in any capacity whatsoever. The Dems MSM know this, they just don't care. They're after Trump by any means necessary. This is the hoax the Dems are preying on the ignorance of the public and using clever wordplay to indirectly suggest Trump is a pedo, knowing damn well they are full of shit. If they had any dirt on Trump, it would have been released before Trump hit the bottom of the escalator, and the Dems would have mentioned Epstein before 2 weeks ago. People who are well versed on this subject know this, but the public do not. The clever wordplay is working on many. This is from Virginia Giuffre's testimony. When did Donald Trump flirt with you? He didn't. That's what's inaccurate. Okay, let's read it from the top. What's the basis for your statement that Donald Trump is a good friend of Jeffrey's? Jeffrey told me that Donald Trump is a good friend of his. But you never observed them together? No, not that I can actually remember. I mean, not off the top of my head, no. And then they asked, when did Donald Trump flirt with you? She said, he didn't. That's what's inaccurate. Did you ever see Donald Trump at Jeffrey's home? Not that I can remember. On his island? No, not that I can remember. In New Mexico? No, not that I can remember. In New York? No, not that I can remember. All right, if you could turn the second page and read through blah, 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 the rest of the court case. Okay. Suburban black man said President Trump is going off with new posts on Truth Social. First, he called for prosecutions after exposing shady deals between Dems, Oprah, Sharpton and Beyonce. Now he's calling out the fake news for being nothing more than political porn for the Dems. Expose it all. Donald J. Trump said networks aren't allowed to be political pawns for the Democrat Party. It has become so outrageous that, in my opinion, their licenses could and should be revoked. MAGA. Yep, they should. Anon said when we were telling the people Biden is a pedo, they called us conspiracy theorists and voted for Biden. But when I said about Trump, they automatically believe it. Bill Gates' relationship with Epstein didn't matter to people when they were getting his vaccine. No, they trusted Bill Gates. He's been on that island many times. Trump hasn't. Liz Churchill said throw them both in prison. The pandemics allegedly were coming from biological labs funded by the evil clowns Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci, which they blame on climate change. Our diseases have come from animals, like HIV came from chimpanzees and Ebola came from bats, allegedly. Yeah, and they've just been trying to make sure that they break the animal-human barrier so the humans can catch them. How about arresting these two? Nick Sautor said, breaking, the DOJ will be interviewing Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell again tomorrow. This was July 25th and 26th after an 8+ hour interview today. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has been conducting the interview and Maxwell's actually been answering his questions. Wow, and Trump is not giving her a pardon. No matter what the mainstream says, Trump is not giving her a pardon. He did not say that. Oh, and this. Okay, I bookmarked this because Chuck Schumer said under no circumstances should anyone from Trump's DOJ be allowed to privately interview Ghislaine Maxwell. The conflict of interest is glaring as stinks of high corruption. Pitfan1 said, lol, this is absolutely laughable. The Biden administration had 4 years to go question her. They did not go question her. They They could have gotten all the information they wanted, and then when Trump went to interview her today, they would have already had all the information. They didn't even try and talk to her. This is an absolutely ridiculous statement. They had 4 years to talk to her. They didn't. That's how you answer your question? That's how your answer? Oh, my God. Democrats are so corrupt. Okay. Joshua Walker said this is blatant misrepresentation of what Trump actually said and proves why people should shy away from trusting news on anything Trump says. Here's the full Q&A on this. Reporter asked, would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell? Trump said it's something I haven't thought about. I'm allowed to, but it's something I have not thought about.
They're not going to be able to make a deal.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir.
Why has the dollar fallen so much, and are you concerned about that?
They're not going to be able to make it.
And that's in response to someone called Patrick Webb saying, breaking, President Trump hasn't ruled out granting clemency to... See how they frame it? He said he hasn't even thought about it. But this Patrick Webb said, breaking, President Trump hasn't ruled out granting clemency to Ghislaine Maxwell. And so you had people in every comment section of every story on YouTube and saying, oh, he better not, no, Trump. He hasn't. Oh, God love you. C3 said, thank you for the sub. I think we just found out why no one at the DOJ ever interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. Buckle up. See? No one at the DOJ ever interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. They didn't want to know. But they let Virginia Giuffre take her to court and get a lot of money off her, by the way. Huh. Then you got people coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, Donald Trump, you wait, just wait. If you believe Maria Farmer and all these people, just hang in there. I don't think you will at the end. I don't know. Gunther Eagleman said, breaking, President Trump rips a reporter for asking about Ghislaine Maxwell requesting a pardon. He said, did he say this? Hang on. I would be okay if her pardon netted the arrest of every person who essayed a child on that island. A lot of people have been asking about a pardon. Obviously, this is no time to be talking about pardons. Todd will come back with whatever he's got. It sounds to me like he isn't even interested.
No, I was never briefed. No.
Did you ask how? What are you hoping Todd Blanche interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell? What are you hoping that they get out of that?
I really have really nothing to say about it. She is being talked to by a very smart man, by a very good man, Todd Blanche. And I don't know anything about the conversation. I haven't really been following it. A lot of people are asking me about pardons. Obviously, this is no time to be talking about pardons. But a lot of people have asked about pardon. This is just not a time to be talking about pardons. Todd will come back with whatever he's got. You're making a very big thing over something that's not a big thing. You should be talking about, if you're going to talk about that, talk about Clinton, talk about the former president of Harvard, talk about all of his friends, talk about the hedge fund guys that were with him all the time. Don't talk about Trump. What you should be talking about is the fact that we have the greatest 6 months in the history of a presidency, according to a lot of people. And we had an amazing 6 months. And this is sort of an example of it. Now we're meeting with the European Union, we're also meeting with, as you know, the head of UK, Prime Minister, and I look forward to that. But we're meeting in terms of a deal. We're meeting with the European Union, and that would be actually the biggest deal of them all if we make it.
Did you ask House Republican leaders to not vote on the resolution about releasing files?
I was never involved in that. I'm focused on making deals. I'm not focused on conspiracy theories that you are. I mean, I watch you people. It's so sad. You ought to talk about the success of our country instead of this nonsense you talk about over and over again.
You've done an amazing job on illegal migration in America.
I have.
People here are very worried about the situation. Record numbers.
Well, I say two things to Europe. Stop the windmills. You're ruining your countries.
There you go. Yeah, Australia is too. So, and he was talking about the conspiracy that he is on the list when he's not. Gunther Eagleman said breaking is being reported that Ghislaine Maxwell did not invoke any privileges when answering questions about roughly 100 people to the DOJ. She did not invoke privilege and was, when really pressed on exactly what she's being asked about, her lawyer said that they've been asked about every single possible thing you can imagine, but then revealed that she was asked about maybe 100 different people. She answered questions about everybody and did not hold anything back. Now, those 100 people aren't necessarily guilty of anything. They could have asked her about, and where was Donald Trump in all this? No, he wasn't involved. And where was such and such? No, they weren't involved. And then others who were involved. Who do you think she mentioned? And she didn't, they asked her about 100 people. Anyway, News Treason Channel 17 said, hey, remember when Anons knew a week ago that Ghislaine Maxwell was about to sing like a bird because Pam Bondi accidentally left an I out of her name? Remember that? And today she did. Funny, sometimes that decode salad really works. Yeah, remember last week when I was kind of like, oh, yeah, maybe. Okay, but apparently there is another I in Ghislaine and it was left out of Pam Bondi's speech thing. Misspellings matter, okay? Sentence formation matters. Learn. There you go. Misspellings matter. Pam Bondi misspelled Ghislaine Maxwell with a missing I. Missing I found. When does a bird sing? When they're in a cage. Okay. Moni said President Trump, before leaving for Scotland, has a few words for the media about Epstein-Maxwell stuff, which we just heard. You should be talking to Larry Summers and former Harvard president Bill Clinton. Benny Johnson said breaking Ghislaine Maxwell was... No, she wasn't granted limited immunity. Oh, well, no, she was, sorry. Limited immunity during meetings with Trump's attorney. But that's not like... She's not granted full-on immunity. It just allowed her to freely answer Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's questions, pardon me, without fear. Responses could later be used against her, the sources said. Maxwell's attorney, she didn't hold anything back. Okay, C3 said if people think Epstein and Maxwell are sick, wait until they hear about Tony and John Podesta. Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, Marina Abramovich. Oh, and Alex Jones. Okay. What did he say about it? Breaking top Trump lawyer Todd Blanche reports that Ghislaine Maxwell sang like a canary, answered questions about 100 different people associated. Just beware of Alex Jones. I am. Even though I'm sharing his post, he jumps back and forward and all over the place like he has no idea what's going on. Trump has opened the floodgates. The Democrats' worst nightmare is about to come true. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to you, though. Amir said Epstein, given the fact that neither the DOJ nor the FBI wanted Ghislaine Maxwell talking to them or anyone else, perhaps it's a good idea for Congress and the Trump administration to talk to her now. So neither the DOJ nor the FBI have ever questioned Ghislaine Maxwell. They don't want her on record. Why did the DOJ and FBI refuse to interview Ghislaine Maxwell? Not a single prosecutor, state or federal, ever asked to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Her lawyer, I believe it was, Lee Safian, confirmed that the Justice Department was never interested or willing to interview her client. Maxwell knows the details of every co-conspirator, client and victim, and yet no one from Justice wanted to talk to her. Interesting, isn't it? Timbo said Michaela Cash destroys penny... Oh, this is good. In Australian Parliament. I will not stand for that. Senator Cash slams Penny Wong on treatment of Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. I'm trying to say her name. I ran the whole sequence of how this unfolded in the Senate before MSM buries it. Wong turns her back. Now, it's 10 minutes worth, but it's worth it. Just listen to it.
Make a short statement.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted, Senator.
Thank you. What concerns me as an Indigenous Australian, as a member of this Parliament, what the issues that come from what we're talking about right now is the ideological way in which Indigenous Australians are objectified, and I mean in such a way that we are used as a political token for political point scoring. The idea of welcome to country has become exactly that. Senator Hanson is correct to say that welcome to country is not traditional culture. It isn't. And what we do need to recognise, and it's important for all of us as leaders of this nation to recognise, is the reinvention of culture which diminishes traditional culture.
Exactly.
It diminishes it. And for those who still live close to traditional culture, within cultural confines, their day-to-day lives are dictated by it. They speak their language. They're often spoken about in very romanticised terms, and the use of acknowledgements really does absolutely nothing to improve their lives, has done nothing to improve their lives. And to be quite honest, as a woman of Indigenous heritage, but first and foremost as an Australian, I am absolutely done with the virtue signalling that takes place. I am of the belief that it is not necessary to have an acknowledgement because we are all Australians. Every single one of us, including the Ngunnawal and the Ngambri, are Australians, and we are here to serve all Australians equally in this country, not praising or acknowledging one group above others.
True, J1.
I'm certain, I mean, truly, I don't think you're really wanting to acknowledge my existence because of my indigeneity here more than anybody else's. I'm equal to you and everybody else here and everybody in this country.
God love her.
So this is the main issue at heart. It's not standing up as a person of Indigenous heritage to say how we do things differently. We are people. We are human beings. We need to stop the infantilisation of who we are as a group of people as though we're somehow different. We are not different. We are the same. We are Australian.
You are.
And that is the sentiment that we need more of in this chamber, in this building, and more broadly across this country. Because it's a wonder why our children are afraid to be proud to call themselves Australian.
Mm-hmm.
So while I understand the significance, the conduct of one nation, perhaps toward the chamber, toward the president, I acknowledge that. But more broadly, when it comes to this concept of acknowledgement of country, and acknowledgement, First Nations isn't even an Australian terminology, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
It's been adopted from Canada, from America. It's just reinvention that is actually belittling and watering down traditional culture and what it's really about. But we can ignore traditional culture in this chamber because there are elements of it every single one of you across from here ignore because it's detrimental to the most marginalised in remote communities. But if you speak up against it, if you mention it, you are painted as a racist. or somebody who is a coconut, or somebody who is a traitor. Imagine if we treated every single racial group in this manner in this country. It's horrendous. And it begins with the virtue signalling, the politicisation of a group of people in this country because of our racial heritage.
Yep.
And I'm sick to death of it. As a woman, as a mother, as soon to be a grandmother, and as an Australian of proud heritage.
God
Whether
love
it's
her.
my convict ancestors or it's my LBRY ancestors. I'm proud of it all, and we should all be. We should all encourage that in Australia in 2025.
Thank you, Senator Price.
Now listen to Penny
Senator
Bloody
Wong.
Wong, right?
Thank you. I seek leave to make a short statement.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted.
I thank the
Senator Wong.
Senate. President, Senator Hanson speaks of division, but it is she who peddles in division.
Oh, off, idiot.
Senator Hanson speaks of respect, but it is she who peddles disrespect. And Senator Hanson, I listened carefully to what you had to say.
This is because Senator Hanson and 3 other One Nation people turned their back on Welcome to Country in Parliament, okay? And so Penny Wong's just going to disregard the whole bloody thing that Jacinta just said.
And I would say this to you. You do not have to agree with the tradition of acknowledging country. I disagree with you. I think the majority of the chamber disagrees with you. But you do not have to agree with it. But it is part of the rituals and traditions of this chamber.
No, it's not.
And as a senator, I think you should respect it. I think you should respect it.
Oh, of the chamber, not actually of the Aboriginals. I've got you, Penny. So it's just a tradition of the chamber to acknowledge Aboriginal. I've never seen it before a few years ago. Anyway.
I think you should respect it. Now, I also listened to the contribution just gone, and I have to say I was heartened to see the Leader of the Opposition, Ms Lee, attend the Welcome to Country at the opening of the Parliament.
Yeah, that's because she's a Labor in disguise in the Liberal Party. That's the head of the Liberal Party. Jacinta is also in the Liberal Party. She should be head of the Liberal Party, or Alex Antic, or one of them. They would get a lot more votes.
And stated at that opening her respect and appreciation of Auntie Violet's welcome. And she said this: "May it set the tone as we recommit ourselves to the taking of practical action to improve lives and expand opportunity for Indigenous Australians in every part of our great country." Now, I would hope that it would be that the opposition would reflect on the words of their own leader in relation to welcomes to country. It's been a lot said about what this chamber is, what this house is. It is a house
waffle
for
on, Penny, you infiltrator.
And it is a house that represents our history, our multicultural diversity.
Yeah, but Welcome to Country was never history. It was never done. The Aboriginals never did it. You just made it up, you moron.
As well as a history of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, the oldest in the world. I would just end on this. Decency and respect cost us nothing, but it goes a long way to building a sense of unity. And if you want to see what grace and respect look like, perhaps remember what Senator McCarthy said just a few moments ago.
Okay.
I don't intend to grant leave for any further statements, given the number.
This woman here, I don't know who she is, right? Michaela someone, but she, if she's part of the Liberal Party, she needs to be number 1. I don't know, they've got 3 choices, right? 3 good choices for the Liberal Party. This lady's one of them. Listen to this.
It can be denied. I seek leave to make a short statement, no longer than Senator Wong.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted. Senator Cash.
Thank you very much. And with all due respect, I did not want to make a statement in this place, President. I actually thought Senator Malandiri McCarthy, Senator Pauline Hanson and Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price each expressed their opinion in relation to this matter well. Their tone respected the chamber. Their words did not seek to diminish anybody else. Their opinions were heartfelt and they were their opinions. Each person is allowed to come into this chamber and hold an opinion. The turning of the back, I've spoken to Pauline Hanson about that. She knows my opinion. She accepts what I have said in relation to that. But let me tell you, Senator Hanson has every right to hold her opinion in relation to what happened at the beginning of this chamber. And she is right. She is right. When I first came to this place, it was prayers. It was not a welcome to country. But I can tell you, do not ever demean anybody. Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price. Her mother's story, best Price. I suggest you all read it. A woman walking through the desert was her mother, who had her baby between her legs under a tree. She picked up that baby, she cut the umbilical cord, and she kept walking. I suggest you read the story of Bess Price before you ever come in here and cast aspersions or tell us, Senator Wong, to respect other words. I will stand by and respect Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, who every day has lived and breathed reconciliation in this country. Her father is white, her mother is black. So please, don't ever come into this place again and pontificate to us like you've just done.
Thank you, Senators. There are no other contributions. I intend to...
I just like that she had a go at Penny Wong, I think. Anyway. Yeah, I think Wong's an infiltrator, to be honest. Lauren said, I'm done with these stupid see you in the NTs. It's because of women like this that other women and girls are being attacked by effing savages and our men and boys are being attacked or murdered. F off, you useless F-tards. Jack Hadfield said, say it loud and clear, refugees are welcome. Oh, bloody morons. Open your house to them. You, all of you. Open your doors to them. Let them stay at your house. Let's see how far you get. Stop the far right. Oh, for God's sake. Woke retards. Nick Sautor said breaking leftist propaganda outlet Media Matters is considering closing up entirely due to being drowned in legal bills thanks to Elon Musk and President Trump. They've racked up $15 million in legal fees defending themselves from Elon Musk's suit alone. Trump's FTC is also vigorously investigating them, driving up their expenses. They've already significantly slashed their staff and are struggling to pay bills. And now that US aid cash has dried up, there's nobody left to bail them out. Good riddance, Media Matters. Morons. Ms Smudge said, if you've treated the Israel-Palestine issue like a football match and have been cheering for your team while sledging the other team, read this before you post another word. If you think this man is wrong, tell me why. Follow it with an explanation of your credentials. Amy and Dean said, Trump, Hamas didn't want a deal. I think they're going to be hunted down. Hamas, just leave for Gaza's sake. 20 days ago, I warned that Hamas would resist any deal, not because of strategy, but out of fear. Fear that the moment the fighting pauses, Gazans themselves will rise up against the very people who dragged them into this disaster. Hamas, under Iranian guidance, is cheered on by every malign actor in the region. Choose a suicide mission. But this wasn't just self-destruction, it was mass murder by proxy, like a man strapping on explosives, climbing into a car with his family and detonating it anyway. And for what? For Tehran's agenda. For the illusion of resistance, for a war they cannot win. There's no shame in surrender. There is shame in watching your people starve, suffocate and die while you cling to power. That only serves the dead. Release the hostages, take your commanders, leave Gaza, go to Houthi Yemen, to Iran, wherever this all began, but let Gaza live. Let responsible regional powers step in to rebuild. Let the children breathe without drones overhead. Let a future exist, one not poisoned by your toxic ideology. This war should have never gone past 21 days. It's now lasted 21 months. Enough, just leave. A dirty little secret no one wants to say out loud. Hamas needs this war to continue, not for Gaza's survival, but for the delusions of their masters in Tehran. Because once the war ends, Hamas knows its fate is sealed, not by Israel, by Gaza. A permanent ceasefire means one of two things. Either the people of Gaza kill Hamas or Hamas kills Gaza. No coexistence, just a reckoning. There's a seething fury inside Gaza, building, boiling, waiting. Families, factions, survivors all know the truth. They were dragged into a suicidal mission that brought no liberation, no state, no future, just endless death. Also, Hamas could serve the ideological fever dreams of a regime hundreds of miles away in Tehran, not the people under their control. And to the naive protesters in New York, London, Berlin, wait till the smoke clears. You'll see what happens when Gazas are finally left alone with those who defended them. You'll witness the rage, the score settling, and the reckoning. How do I know this? Simple. Unlike most of you on this platform, I can read Arabic, and more importantly, I can read between the lines in Arabic, if you catch my drift. Very interesting. Okay, Sir Oliver Pollock, Kaiser, said, I'm getting takeover vibes, the third building. Trump just walked into the Fed and told Powell, it's not just 2.7 billion, it's 3.1 billion. I'm counting the third building too. What he really meant is taking control of the entire operation. The third building equals the piece they thought we wouldn't see, hidden assets, black money, human trafficking pipelines, 2020 funding networks, Epstein's financial umbrella. And when we go full crypto, Treasury takes over, Fed gets frozen, all assets seized under Executive Order 13818 and Executive Order 13848. The Fed's not too big to fail, it's too corrupt to survive. The Board Plus was in the building. We have it all. The Q Plus was Trump, apparently, okay? Things are happening. Danger Dan said it would be helpful. Breaking news, Australians seek urgent advice from PM's ex-wife on how the hell she got rid of him. Because we'd love to know. Oh, dear. Craig Kelly said, God help us, and she's going to be voting on economic policy and making decisions on how our electricity grid should work. Australians versus the Agenda said, Senator Charlotte Walker, 21, should not be in Parliament, captioned this video, day in my life, first week done. She worked for 2 days this week. Are you ready for this, moron? This is someone in our government, okay? Frickin' moron. Okay, you get the gist of the music, okay? Interviews, checking emails, question time, vote, heading home. Right, she wakes up, she goes to the office, she gets brekkie and an interview prep, interview with ABC, interview with Dawes, chocolate breakfast, interview with SBS, and on and on and on. She shouldn't be getting paid. I don't know. Moron she is. Looks a lot more like a TikTok, what do you call it? I don't know, a TikTok person. I don't want to call them influencers. They don't influence anyone. Or do they? Anon said important questions. When Trump talked to the FBI about Epstein, was he questioned as a suspect or a witness? A witness. Why did Trump kick Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for Epstein hitting on a 14-year-old girl? How many times did Trump go to Epstein Island? 0. If the mainstream media were doing their job, everyone would know the answers to these questions. I encourage you to find the answers yourself. Ian Yeager said, breaking, The View will be taking a hiatus and will not be filming any more episodes in the meantime. Hopefully it's a permanent hiatus. Okay, and we know all this. Yep. Okay, I obviously had the little one and was bookmarking just over and over again, right? Because I didn't know what I was bookmarking or what I had bookmarked. So I just kept going. Oz Integrity said, breaking, in case you missed it, Labor's green energy pipeline is going up in smoke faster than it can blow taxpayers' money. Hundreds of billions in projects cancelled with no viable replacement projects, and these are just the projects from 2025 so far. Wind projects cancelled, 7. Moonlight Range Wind Farm, Gippsland Dawn, Lewin Offshore, Midwest Offshore, Sea Dragon Offshore, Bass Offshore, Australian Renewable Energy Hub. Okay. Solar projects cancelled, 2. Yass Solar Farm, and Australia Renewable Energy Hub. Hydrogen projects cancelled, 9. Central Queensland Hydrogen, Gladstone Green Hydrogen, Australian Renewable Energy Hub. They're not doing too well, are they? Whyalla Hydrogen, Port Pirie Electrolyser, Tiwi Islands Hydrogen, Desert Bloom, Hunter Valley Hydrogen, and Quiana Hydrogen. Okay, so they're failing. Can we have cheaper prices now? Guys? Okay, Clandestine said, so the Dems are interested in conspiracy theories now. Good. Are you familiar with Clinton-affiliated Satanist Marina Abramovic? Are you familiar with spirit cooking? Are you familiar with the Clinton campaign emails show the Podestas went to spirit cooking dinners? The Dems claim they want transparency about Trump, but we have email evidence showing Hillary's campaign manager literally engaged in satanic rituals, and the media to this day refuse to talk about it. Tony Podesta the Podestas were Hillary Clinton's campaign managers. Okay, this is Marina. Here is the email from Tony Podesta. No, to Tony Podesta, sorry, from Marina Abramovic. I'm so looking forward to the spirit cooking dinner at my place. Do you think you'll be able to let me know if your brother's coming? Okay, Tony and John Podesta. All my love, Marina. And yeah, so there you go. It looks like there was no reply in there. Joe M said Trump's a genius. Notice how in yesterday's presser at the tour under the construction, Fed, he exposed that they were building underground tunnels there. Did you catch that? The third building? Is that what he was talking about? Very interesting. Senator Babbitt here in Australia said Prime Minister Keir Starmer has commented on the situation in Gaza. He joins Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who released a statement this afternoon. What do you think? Keir Starmer said the suffering and starvation unfolding in Gaza is unspeakable and indefensible. Are they trying to tell Israel and that to stop? Stop. Okay? We all agree on the pressing need for Israel to change course and allow the aid that is desperately needed to enter Gaza without delay. It's Hamas who are doing it. Hamas are confiscating the aid and making money off it. You morons. Oh my God, they're just such morons. It doesn't take that much looking to find out. The opinionated black woman auntie said this is an amazing... Oh yeah, I've already done that one, sorry. And this is Albanese's blaming Israel as well for the... for Hamas, stealing the aid. He says it's Israel. No, it's Hamas. Rod D. Martin said, yes, there will be arrests. After 4 years in exile, being prosecuted and shot at, Trump didn't come back to move on. He came back to finish this. The deep state's being hunted, and this time they're not walking free, a thread for skeptics. Conservatives are jaded, and rightly so. For 20 years, Democrats walked, Republicans hung. But that era's over. Trump isn't just mad, he's methodical. Jeez. He had 4 years to plan every moment of his comeback, and it's already underway. Tulsi Gabbard's declassifications weren't random, they were evidence. They prove Obama knew Russian wasn't colluding with Trump and ordered a cover-up anyway. He weaponised the entire government to destroy his elected successor. That's a coup. They nearly succeeded. Paul Ryan was ready to impeach. McCain hand-delivered the fake Steele dossier. Barr told the public there was no election fraud in 3 days without investigating. Ray sent the FBI to Mar-a-Lago with deadly force orders. Now they're exposed. The deep state did its best to run out the clock. Why 2020 mattered. A 5-year statute of limitations stopped Trump from learning the truth, imprison him if possible. But the new DOJ isn't playing. A grand conspiracy investigation resets the clock. Venue matters. You can't get a fair trial in DC, but a conspiracy means new charges and new venues. Florida's on the table. Key crimes were committed there. This is how you indict the untouchables and win. This isn't random, much less chaos. It's coordination. FBI Director Cash launches FBI probe. Tulsi Gabbard declassifies exactly the evidence he needs. This isn't 2017 Trump. This is 2025 Trump. And he knows who's loyal and he knows how to strike. And it's not just Russiagate, 2020 election fraud, China's fake mail-in ballots, Biden dementia cover-up, Fauci's pandemic lies, Media Kamala's cover-up, J6 frame job, weaponised justice system. It's all on the table, the whole rotten thing. Trump told you directly yesterday, I let Hillary go in 2017 to avoid dividing the country. But after what they did to me, right or wrong, people have to pay. This is personal, and if we've learned anything, it's that he keeps his promises. Let's have a listen to him, what he said.
The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me.
Was that a slip of the tongue? The ex-wife of a president. Did her and Bill get divorced? Or did he mean the wife of an ex-president? I'm not sure.
Me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about.
There you go.
The witch hunt.
This isn't the LBRY Durham double agent show. This is AG Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard and Dan Bongino. It's relentless, coordinated, legal and righteous. They have one shot and they're not wasting it. They have a plan and Tulsi spelled it out. Let's have a listen.
There's no question in my mind that this intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered be published, which contained a manufactured intelligence document. It's worse than even politicization of intelligence. It was manufactured intelligence that sought to achieve President Obama and his team's objective, which was undermining President Trump's presidency and subverting the will of the American people. So yes, next week we will be releasing more detailed information about how exactly this took place and the extent to which this information was sought to be hidden from the American people, hidden from officials who would be in a position to do something about it. And that's really the point here that I think is most important, Maria, and you said it in your opening. Accountability is essential for the future of our country, for the American people to have any sense of trust in the integrity of our democratic republic. Accountability, action, prosecution, indictments for those who are responsible for trying to steal our democracy is essential for us to make sure that this never happens to our country again.
There you go. So yes, there will be arrests, there will be trials, there will be convictions. The two-tiered system is ending. This time justice is coming for them. The hunters become the hunted. The hunted has become the hunter. Sorry, read that the wrong way round. I wrote an entire essay on this today. Read it and pass it along to many of your dispirited, depressed, sceptical and even panicking friends as possible. And as always, if you like this content, you can follow Rod D. Martin on Twitter. Okay? Tulsi Gabbard said on December 8th, 2016, oh, this is part of a thread, isn't it? Oh, my God. Okay, been going for 1 hour 19. Okay, let's go. Americans will finally learn the truth about how in 2016 intelligence was politicised and weaponised by the most powerful people in the Obama administration to lay the groundwork for what was essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, subverting the will of the American people and undermining our democratic republic. Here's how. Holy shit, something big just hit the roof. Oh, I don't know what that was. It was... okay. For months preceding the 2016 election, the intelligence community shared a consensus view Russia lacked the intent and capability to hack US elections. But weeks after President Trump's historic 2016 victory, defeating Hillary Clinton, everything changed. On December the 8th, 2016, IC officials prepared an assessment for the President's daily brief, finding that Russia did not impact recent US election results by conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. Before it could reach the President, it was abruptly pulled based on new guidance. The key intelligence assessment was never published. The next day, top national security officials, including FBI Director James Comey, CIA Director John Brennan and DNI James Clapper, gathered with the Obama White House to discuss Russia. Obama directed the IC to create new intelligence assessment that detailed Russian election meddling, even though it would contradict multiple intelligence assessments released over the previous several months. Obama officials immediately leaned on their allies in the media to advance their falsehoods. Anonymous IC sources leaked classified information to the Washington Post and others that Russia had intervened to hack the election in Trump's favour. On January 6, 2017, just days before President Trump took office, DNI Clapper unveiled the Obama-directed, politicised assessment, a gross weaponisation of intelligence that laid the groundwork for a years-long coup intended to subvert President Trump's entire presidency. According to whistleblower emails shared with us today, we know Clapper and Brennan used the baseless, discredited Steele dossier as a source to push this false narrative in the intelligence assessment. These documents detail a treasonous conspiracy by officials at the highest levels of the Obama White House to subvert the will of the American people and try to usurp the president from fulfilling his mandate. This betrayal concerns every American. The integrity of our democratic republic demands that every person involved be investigated and brought to justice to prevent this from ever happening again. I am providing all documents to the Department of Justice to deliver the accountability that President Trump, his family and the American people deserve. And there you go. I finally did it. Sorry, I've got to get to the top one and like that. There we go. Okay. Repost it. And that's it. That's the news for today. So we got Deb in here and Alex in here. And yeah, hope you had a great anniversary, Fred and Donna. How far can we get? Oh, the Black Hat Music saying hello to everyone. Oh, Deb, you got vertigo. It sucks. Oh, I'm sure it does. That's terrible. Alex said, good to have you back. Hope you had a lovely time with your granddaughter and your daughter and family have all moved into their new home. Okay, not quite. They ordered a big truck with a few people to work and it still didn't get done in the one day. They're still going today. Del, hey going? G'day, Hev, voice of the outback. Sherry said, had storms here and over 100-degree weather. Otherwise good, Alex. It's freezing here. By the way, here's the weather in Australia, where I am anyway. Where am I? I'm around Katoomba here somewhere, right? Now, watch this. See, you in the northern hemisphere, I don't know if you probably get northerlies, which are cold, right? But here in Australia, we get, like, Antarctica's down here, down the bottom, underneath. We get southerlies, and they're the cold ones, okay? So at the moment, currently, we've got this southerly coming up, but there's another one. See all this speckled cloud? Yeah. There's a chance we could get snow. I don't know. They always say that and never happens. But this time they haven't said anything at all, but the temperatures are way down. So I'm thinking when they don't say anything at all, but they don't say there's going to be snow, but the temperatures are like that, there probably will be. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Black Cat said, my yellow Quaker parrots say, what doing? Oh, God, love it. Alex said, oh, no, that's horrible, Deb. Deb said, straps have upright in her chair. Well, I am strapped, but it's my shoulders that are strapped. I've got this elastic thing on that you put over your arms and it goes across your back and it pulls your arms back so your posture's better. Okay, so that's what I've also got to exercise because it's the only thing that really stops the headaches bad when I keep getting them like that. That's what happened last time. I just thought there might be more to it than what there was, but thank God there's not. So, yeah, I'm strapped, not to the chair, but close. Yeah, Del, posture. You need a Mary Poppins governess with a cane who whacks you for slouching, lol, but reckoned she end up with it up the coaster? Probably, yeah. If someone slapped me every time I slouched, I'd probably end up getting up and going, hey, you know, that thing's going to go somewhere where the sun doesn't shine shortly if you keep hitting me with it. And there was something else. I had a thought the other day, right? I was thinking of kids' toys and things, right? And I thought, for my granddaughter, you know, what could I give her that's something innocent, nice to play with? And then I remembered this. Does anyone remember Fuzzy Felt? From when you were a kid? Oh my God, I used to love this. And you make little pictures and it sticks to the felt. Does anyone remember Fuzzy Felt? Oh my God. I had this thought the other day and I looked it up, but you know what? Fuzzy Felt is now really expensive. Okay? It's really expensive now. Okay, if I want a classic deluxe Toy World Australia Fuzzy Felt, it's $24.99. It's not real expensive, but it's expensive enough. It should be $6.25, but it's $24.99. I'm thinking of getting one if I can. Like, they do Afterpay. It's only $6 a fortnight. I really want to get one of these. I used to love this when I was little. Does anyone remember? Does anyone else remember Fuzzy Felt? Oh my God. Anyway, that's just a Hev memory. Don't mind me. Alex said, I'm so glad you're feeling much better and it wasn't something really serious. My mum asked how you were today. I said you were much better. We've all been worried. Oh, God love you. And God love your mum, Alex. God love you. And Dell's tipping his hat to Alex. And Lucette said, Trump is in Scotland at the moment. If he comes to London, cheering crowds would be there. Oh. Hopefully people in Scotland are going, yay, Trump. J1 said I would call her a retard, but that wouldn't be fair on the retard. Yeah, exactly. J1. Alex said, I have to send you the link. There's same ones I had before. So comfortable. Great sound, Deb. Dealey said Trump wasn't welcomed in Scotland. Oh, no, really? Kai said she needs a hard, deep dose of vitamin D. Alex said this woman sounds unhinged. Oh, yes, that's this woman here, that little first woman. Hey, it's funny. When I read the comments, sometimes I look over here, and this is what we were talking about at the time. Yeah, so the weirdo. I don't know who she is. I've never heard. Like, I've heard of her. She was the one crying twice on video about something or other, like the voice didn't pass or something, some shit. She's a weirdo. Adele's saying g'day to Dealey and Kai. Everyone's saying hello. And George, how you going? Lucette said Labor wants 16-year-olds to vote in the UK, same as Australia, when they should be going up in age, not down. Dell said all these pushes of policies, predictive program, these six plan, cross-generational man for like 50 to 100 years in the future, the arrogance, UK revolution, now voting, had its time, it's rancid. Yeah, I agree, Dell. Alex said we had a new stupid act passed on Friday for online safety, which was immediately abused, censoring free speech instead of what it was supposed to be for. Classic same old, same old. Yeah, well, I think some of these files that are unravelling about Obama, they're going to involve Australian government. They're going to involve the UK government. Wouldn't be surprised if the Canadian government were in there somewhere on the Russia hoax. That's what's going to bring it undone, I think. Keep watching. Yeah, Deb. Oh, my God, who is this weirdo? Her name is Abby Chatfield. Some unknown weirdo who loves to touch her own body, wiggle around on camera and make 0 sense whatsoever. Okay, that's why she reminds me of a TikTok, not influencer, just a person on TikTok. Kai said, since the brain is finished growing till 25-ish, the legal age should be raised, to be honest. Yes, I agree. Alex said they can't stand people communicating as finding out what's really happening and how tyrannical things have really become. I can't believe that I'm backing Google on this one. Against the Australian government, though. I agree with Google. Go YouTube. Come on, guys. Sue them. Make them back down. We love you, YouTube. Only because it's the easiest one to use. I do anyway. I don't like the censorship. I don't like anything else. I don't like the AI algorithms, but go at the Australian government, guys. Go for it. Deb said I had to book my physio appointment, come back to a crazy person. Yeah, there you go. Deb said Australia talk a lot. Del said police busted the Antifa to Epping after 15-year-old molested by boat arrival. Enough time to go Ragnar. I don't know what Ragnar means, but off you go. Yeah, there you go. Not off you go, but there you go. George is saying hi to everyone. Alex said, yes, I saw that Sharia law job earlier. Absolute joke. Deb said, is she in the bathroom? She got all her jabs. I don't know. She was in like an entryway or a bathroom, one of the two, or maybe even a closet. I don't know. Dennis Bears said, good morning, folks. What was that narcissistic seemed off her face? Yes, Hev, she needs a medical assessment. Yep. Alex said, you got that right, Hev. A real race to the bottom indeed. Yes, we're all going. And I think we're all going at the same pace. I don't know about your countries, but Australia's just really expensive on top of it all. Oh, it's ridiculous. And it's freaking freezing, mind you, might I tell you. I know yous are all humid and hot over in the US. I don't know what it's like in the UK, but it is freezing. This week's going to be a very cold week here in Australia, and that's why I'm hoping for snow. George said the UK needs to get rid of Starmer and Labor. Yep. Dell said 8 kids all claiming all in government cars and racist as fuck. UK fell 2012. Yes. That was the beginning of the downfall for all of us, really, I believe. Luce said, George, yes, and the Tories too. Dennis Biz said, Google should sue Albo and Wong personally, not using our tax money to defend themselves. Well, I agree, Dennis Biz. I do agree. I don't think they should be paying with Australian taxpayer dollars, put it that way. Hey, Jules, good to see ya. Deb said, looking forward to that, Alex. Everyone's saying hello to Jules. Yes, Dealey, pregnant children. Yes. Couldn't believe what I was reading myself. I don't know. Is Timur here? Will he be joining us on Rumble? I don't know. I didn't ask him this week. Oh, I kind of thought I can't plan it because I don't know if I'm going to have a headache or not, unfortunately. But if he's here, I wouldn't mind. Alex said, and the rest of them, we need a complete overhaul. I think they all bat for the same team and all laughing at us in the pub after the pantomime show they give in the House of Commons. Lucette said, Trump is wearing a gold tie, something to do with Chisara? I believe so. I believe Trump is recouping the money that's been stolen from the American people. And, I believe pretty soon you're going to see a turnaround in that. Oh, thanks, Jules. Smash that like button, please. Deb said, weak government. George said, yeah, I know, Alex, they're clowns. Sherry said, shame on the mainstream media for not reporting on the children. They never do. There's so many that's been busted and saved, rescued, and the media, the mainstream media will not put anything in favour of Trump on there. Alex said, that's sickening, such evil things being done to children. Well, you know, they're the next generation, mate. They're the ones you really got to look at. Like, you got to look after everyone, really, you know. But, I mean, I can't handle when things are done to children, animals, little people, you know, elderly, anyone, really. No, just no. Kai said, Jules supposedly going to have to send out checks as rebate on tariffs. Yes, apparently he will. Alex said it gets worse by the day, George. Yes. Deb said making Western countries into third world countries. Yes. Kai said Deb is correct. Alex said it's turning more and more into a shithole every day. So is Australia. It's not even recognisable what the country is. Like from what it was. Kai said, caused so much hell we beg for any solution. Lisette said, those poor kids will be psychologically damaged for the rest of their lives. It makes me so angry. I know, Lisette, I feel the same way. Seriously. Alex said exactly that, Deb. Every single country they've taken over has become impoverished and desolate. George said the government are tyrants, Alex. Kai said both parties are corrupt. Alex said, I love that little soundbite. It was at that moment she knew she fucked up. Yeah, exactly. Deb said it was really humanitarian giving. That's not what they want. He didn't put it in their evil pocket. Exactly. Well, humanitarian would be giving it back to the people a lot, you know. That these criminals have stolen money from, including the Australian government, handing money out left, right and centre all over the place, including the UK government, the Canadian government, all of our countries. Kai said there's just simply no such thing as an honest politician. Lisette said, Kai, spot on, they're all sociopaths. Alex said, yeah, they could have us completely controlled if they had their way. It's only because of the pushbacks that we aren't already there, all the way there yet. Yeah, exactly. Yep, sociopaths and narcissists, yes. Alex said, not to mention them bringing over all their inbred health conditions, pushing people who were born here back on the hospital waiting list. Have, yeah, exactly. Kai said, give them a reason to need the hospital. Lucette said, Anthony Kiedis is from the Red Hot Chili Pepper. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Lucette. Kai said, it's going to be a planetary civil war. Alex said, yes, they had that Civil War film come out a few months ago, a bit of predictive programming. Yeah, the board says no civil war and no war, okay? Get to the edge, but you won't actually get that. And if there is, it'll be shut down very quickly. By armies, I believe. Lucette said, if you come across Charles Windsor is the king. George said, Charles, not my king. Kai said, very satchi. Alex said, no, mine either. Another inbred parasite, George. Kai said, I have no master. Deb said, I'm my own master. Lucette said, me too. Alex said, I can't stand the royal family. George said, is this the Epstein? Yeah, that was the original. It was bought out in 2020, and then people now on Twitter are still saying, we've got the newly released Epstein list, and it's the old one that we knew about, okay? Alex said, yes, I think so, but think this names we already knew, George? Yes, it is. Lucette said, me too, Alex, they're sinister. Kai said, realised it during a lucid dream. Demon asked, my first thought was in response, I have no master. I am my own master. God is my master. Alex said, very sinister and pretty nasty bunch of people. They definitely had something to do with Diana. She saw them for exactly who they are. Yeah, exactly. Hey, going, Geolof, good to see ya. Alex said, it's such a shame because loads of other people seem to get away with playing videos and music, Hev. I know. Deb said, are they on the island or flight logs? Yes, that's exactly what I want to know. Lucette said, Alex, I'm coming round to the idea they're shape-shifting reptilians, lol. George said, the British government is my enemy. Alex said, we will wait for it on Rumble. Yeah, I haven't seen Tim Air yet. I might have to contact him. Oh, see where he's up to and what, you know, what we can do. Alex said, yes, they were never here for the people, George. Geolof saying hello, everyone. Alex said, nothing would surprise me these days, Lucette. Deb said, who of the who? who's who in the zoo. Alex said, I don't think they should ever let Maxwell out. She's a very dangerous woman who abused children. I don't think she's going to get out. It didn't sound like Trump was going to give her a pardon, even though everyone's walking around like suggesting it, because mainstream news suggested it. That Trump said, oh, he hasn't ruled it out. It's on the table. And you should see the comments. Everyone's just turning straight on Trump. You know, it's like, oh my God, you people. Anyway. Alex said, why didn't she answer the questions 4 years ago? She wasn't even asked, Alex. Kai said, if she gets out, she'll have to live in hiding. Yeah, because many people will be after her. Deb said, you're dealing with the most crazy children ever, so good luck with that banning psycho children. Kai said, Alex, it was that page of the script yet? It's a movie, remember? Lucette said, Ari Glane, when she heard her dad was dead, she went to the office and commanded the staff to shred loads of papers. Oh. Alex said, they all have islands to run off to, Kai. Dealey said, yeah, you can't believe she wasn't questioned before. Can you believe she wasn't questioned before? Yes, I can, because they didn't want it on record. And they would have had to record what she was saying. Kai said, I can't believe she kept quiet to keep breathing. Deb said, the ambience is missing. Alex said, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure it was shortly after meeting her dad that Epstein rose up. Kai said she wasn't questioned to keep cover. Exactly. Lucette said, has Trump gone back to America now? I wish he'd come down south to England. GLF said, Alex, according to the federal case and the plea deal, Ms. Maxwell should never have been placed in prison. The federal government's DOJ agreed in the 2007 deal, Mr. Epstein's and co-conspirators. Wow. Deb said, it's the criminals that have been brought into the country. Yes, exactly. Alex said, yeah, it wasn't to keep them safe. It's always about protecting some of the worst people on the planet, never about the survivors of their horrific crimes. Kai said, Tony's home, guys. Got to go. Have a good one, Kai. Geoloff said, Alex, that all would not face further legal findings to seek a conviction. The government today seems to be running a play with her in what seems to be protective custody. Something is off. Interesting, Geoloft. Sherry said, later, Kai, have a blessed rest of your day. Alex said, I thought Billy Goat said he would never vax his own children. Don't mind experimenting on others, though. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so corrupt. It is. Lucette said, I went to my mum's yesterday. She recorded a TV program called Moscow in the White House about how Trump was a Russian spy. One day I'm going to seriously fall out with my mother. She's got TDS. Hopefully it changes before that, Lucette. Like the news and all that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to, but... Deb said, all from a bloody lab. Lucette said, and yes, she's had all the vaccines available. My brother nearly died from 2 blood clots in the lungs after one of them, but she doesn't believe it was caused by the shots. My poor brother. Oh, no. I hope he's all right. Jeez, that's terrible. Lucette said, Alex, thanks. His heart is not good, but he's too ill to work. In a few years, he'll be old enough to retire. Oh, God love him. Oh, no. Alex said, I can't listen to Alex Jones when he starts screaming at the camera. That's when like at first it was okay, but after a while I got sick of it and went, yeah, unsub. Geoloff said, Alex, just remember there's no two-tier legal system or financial system or privilege system, etc. And you know it's the truth because the criminal syndicate said it's the truth. Sherry said, Alex Jones is said to be Mossad. Don't know, but they said the real Alex was replaced, possibly. Deb said, maybe because they can't find someone who's not complicit to talk to Maxwell. Alex said, sending love and God bless to you, Lucette. Geoloff said, Alex, remember nobody's above the law. And I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch, you can see the sea. If you buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in for free. Good one, Geoloft. J1 said, we need a welcome to reality ceremony. Yes, we do, J1. Deb said, Stormy was watching sport. And I said, where is welcome to country? He said, rugby, don't do it. Good. Conchega, how you going? Deb said, rugby doesn't do tackling either. Couldn't tackle the skin of a cold custard. Alex said she doesn't look old enough to be a grandmother. Yeah, Jacinta doesn't. She doesn't at all. George said, good Aussie woman. Yes, she is. Deb said, bullshit cow wong dong. Pat said, get the Indians and the Muslims out, the Chinese. Japs and God knows how many other traitors like Penny Wong. Alex said, it sure is. They love to gaslight us. Deb said, she's really pissing me off. J1 said, the chamber pot. Dennis Smith said, Wong is not respected in Australia, a vicious CCP mouthpiece. I do think so. She is an infiltrator. And is Pat in here? I can't see her. Oh, hello, Pat, anyway. Dennis Biss said, Wong's not... Yeah, I read that one. Deb said, someone got a tomato? Yeah, we can throw at Wong. Concheg said, Alex Jones 2.0 was replaced a few years of controlled opposition. Deb said, her voice is even patronising, it is. GLF said, government officials everywhere are grossly incompetent because since they were in college, they've been faking everything. Now they're in charge. Their incompetence spreads like a virus. You know what, GLF, that makes sense. Conchega said, Jacinta Price's mother is on $850,000 a year as an assistant principal for a school with 12 students. Is she? Oh, person. Of course. Find the best price. Is it Jacinta Price? Where did you find this information, Conchega? Hang on. Jacinta Price. Mother. Oh, it's best price, not best. No wonder. A former politician. Her father is an educator with Irish ancestry. Let's have a look. She was running for the Country Liberal Party. Since 2022, she's been an assistant principal at Independent Aboriginal School, Alice Springs. I can't find her, obviously. I can't find her, what do you call it? Her salary. But well done, Conchega. Deb said, what, school holidays over, so they've gone back to work? Dennis Biss said, Wong looks a lot related to Xi Jinping, yes. Yeah, happy days, best price. No, it's BESS, B-E-S-S, Bess, as in, like Bessie, I suppose. How you going? Happy days, anyway. Alex said, Wong by name, wrong by nature. Yeah, exactly. Conchega said 2.5k a welcome to country is just a commerce. It was invented by Ernie Dingo in the 70s as a return ceremony from the welcome from some Pacific Islands when they travelled there. There you go. Conchega said cash is an absolute nutter. Alex said, I don't think crypto is as safe as people think. I know cash is basically worthless, but if electricity goes down, people won't be able to get crypto. We should go back to good old-fashioned bartering. Yeah, I don't completely disagree with you there, Alex. Lisette said the UN are stopping Gazans from getting the food aid, and the propagandists have put out a photo of a baby with a muscular condition claiming the baby is starving. I heard that Hamas was stopping the food, and on-selling it. Alex said, especially if something massive is going to kick off like everyone can feel it is. Kachek said, Alex, bills of exchange and promissory notes and gold and silver is our currency in Oz. Alex said, I think I saw that picture. The UN have always been so corrupt like every other corporation. Yep. Alex said, we used to have cash system here that was worth something. I can't remember what it's called now, but there were people trying to bring it back a few years ago. Lucette said, yes, Alex, all those institutions set up after the war were set up for the long game, Agenda 2020. Agenda 21, you mean? Alex said, for sure. Luce said it was only about making the rich richer and keeping the poor slaves. Deb said, payback's a bitch. Lucette said, Germany lost the war, but the Nazis went away quietly and regrouped and stealthily infiltrated organisations and established new ones disguised as humanitarian organisations. I agree with that. Alex said, yes, they set up the likes of NASA. J1 said, US election interference. Alexander Downer, Australia is in balls deep. Yes, we are, J1. Alexander Downer, he's the Australian part of the Russia. Election interference in the US. Alex said they continued with their horrific experiments on people but wrapped it in bows and ribbons so people would comply. Deb said, Obama first asset. Lucette said, true, Alex. Werner von Braun rained rockets down on England during the war, then went to the US as part of Operation Paperclip, then adapted those rockets to allegedly go to the moon. Lucette said, Deb, absolutely. There's a rumour Obama is Hitler's grandson. I don't know the details. Do you? Could have been. You never know. Okay, we're around here somewhere. Alex, so I suppose back then they didn't think people would find out, Lucette. Deb said, no, I didn't know a connection, Lucette. Kachega said, Hamas are run by Mossad. There you go. Some people think they're run by Iran. Lucette said, Mengele went to the US too and set up MK Ultra. Yes, exactly. Deb said, Stranger Things. Alex said, have you heard of MK Naomi? I've heard of it. Very interesting. Can't remember what it is, but I'm sure I've heard of it. Alex said, yes, they say all these things were abolished, but I think they just learned to hide it better. Yes, they did. Kacheka said, Alex, the money we use ATM is called fiat, worth nothing, just a promissory note posing as a currency by the fraudulent banks. Deb said, no wonder our Hev is stressed. Yeah, look, the only things I'm stressed about are money, really. Honestly, that's all I can say. If everything just went cheaper again, it would be a load off my mind, put it that way, okay? Lucette said, Deb, if I remember correctly, there was this Lebensborn thing where Aryan men donated their sperm for women to get pregnant. Hitler was a donor, I think. Oh, my goodness. Alex said, just worthless piece of paper, but I think digitalising everything is just a slippery slope we may not be able to return from. No, there will always be cash, I believe, even if they digitise the banking system, which they already have. But if they put it on the crypto system, I don't know, probably going to be safer. Can't, fiddle with it as much. I don't know. Just a thought. Deb said, the Boys from Brazil is about the children of Hitler. Lucette said, MK Naomi, never heard of that. What is it? Deb said, need a cleaner for the next house inspection. Oh, dear. Alex said, it was about chemical and biological experiments, Lucette. Lucette said, fuzzy felt. I loved it. I had about 4 of them. And Deb said, yes, I play with the kids. Ah. Lucette said, Alex, yes, I've seen the movie they made clones of Hitler. Deb said, yes, kids still love it. Alex said, you could probably make your own fuzzy felt if you go to a hobby craft store. Probably much cheaper if you buy the bits separately and cut your own shapes, Hev. Yeah, it's cutting my own shapes that might be the problem. The bunny rabbits are going to look quite funny. Deb said, I'd love to get a selfie with Trump. My mum would not like it. Oh, I'd love that. Imagine a selfie with Trump. Deb said, that makes sense now. She had all the jabs, crazy lady. Dealey said that was according to Scotland News, headlines about Trump not welcome. Oh, no, that'd be the opposite with the people then. You know what the news says, you got to think the opposite kind of thing, yeah. Lucette said, Deb, me too, my mum's got TDS bad. Deb said, how stupid they let shit into their country. Scotland, a great man that can help. Deb said, my mum has read lots of books on Trump. Hopefully she stays in the room. Lucette said, Dealey, have you seen the footage of when there was a huge pro-Trump gathering in London in 2017? They were chanting, we love Trump. It sent chills down my spine every time I watch it. Yeah, I remember that. So does Dealey. Deb said, are we seeing our Dr. Timmy in the house on Rumble? I really don't know. He's not here, so I'd probably say no. Yeah, I don't know. I should have messaged him. Deb said, I'm looking forward to movie All of Me. Yes. Alex said, I'm not seeing him tonight, but he might be listening. Deb said, no worries, just wondering. Lucette said, Hev, do a search for We Love Trump London. You should find it easily. Play it for us, Hev. Okay. London, We Love Trump. This one.
And we want you to succeed. Forget about the people in London. Forget about the establishment. Forget about the detractors in the fake news media. The real people out there in the United Kingdom. We love you, Mr. President.
There you go. We love Trump. So do I. Okay. Lisette said, today I saw some footage of Algeria when the French were there in 1960 compared to Algeria now. It was beautiful in the 60s. Shithole now. Deb said, Bruce Lee Winners is looking to close the edge. Alex said, what is TDS? Trump Derangement Syndrome. Yeah. Deb said, I'm eating toast. Alex said, I was looking it up like it was a medical problem. Like a STD. He thought it was a TDS, STD type thing, you know. Alex says, if it's not autocorrect, it's bloody text-to-speech correct, lol. Deb's laughing, said, God love you, Alex. Deb said, thank you for your letter, Alex. I'll reply soon. Alex said, oh, no worries. I wonder if you got it. Sorry it took so long, Deb. Geolof said, I'm still listening while playing GTA with my granddaughter. Oh, with you. Oh, God love you. Lucette said, yes, Hamas is taking the food aid. The UN are also leaving food aid to rot. That might be why the US are airlifting food parcels directly into Gaza. Ooh, that makes sense, Lucette. I thought it was, I heard it was Hamas. Yeah, but the UN's involved as well. Deb said, Adelaide is not moist today. I think my lawn is still finely moist. Pat said, there you are, Pat. Alexander Down is a traitor, always has been, yes. Yeah, wasn't he the Prime Minister for like a few months or something and then kicked out again? Deb said, how many years is something really big coming? Yeah, I know. But, you know, that precipice has got to be close, mate. Deb said, wonky felt cut out by Hev. Yes, exactly. Deb said, only because of Trump that I have not lost my mind. Yep, Deb said, who's lurking today? All are welcome. Yes, definitely. Deb said, and your opinion's welcome even if you don't agree with me. So please comment if you're coming across this later on. Deb said, yes, but their country is now full of shit. Lisette said, thanks, Hev, that was great. Yeah, Deb said, we love our Alex. Yes, we do. Geolof said, Alex, there's nothing like stealing car and running amok all through the city, just being a bad influence with grandchildren. What are you talking about there, Geoloft? You're not doing that, are you? No. George said, we need someone like Trump in the UK and Australia and Canada. Yep, all that sort of stuff. Okay, well, I'm guessing Timmy's not in the house today, so we won't do it today. I'll have to contact him and see if we can arrange to do a medical live stream. I don't even know if it's real medical stuff. Hang on, let me have a look at what's in there, because I'm pretty sure we're going to want to know. Well, there's, okay. Truth about the tetanus shot. Medical groups being sued for jabbies. More DMSO. Harvard dropping a ball on the, a bombshell on the carnivore diet, which is the best one. You can't have honey when you're a baby, but you can have 25 injections. And the Amish not having autism. Interesting. And that's old news. Okay. So it's a pretty short list at the moment. And you know what we could do? If Timmy does jump on, we can just go, like, we can have Alex and Timmy on and we can just watch all of me or something, you know? So there you go. Okay. Ta-ta, Lucette, everyone. Have a good one. Deb said probiotics. I was wondering there are so many apparently. Okay, with that, I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.